What's up, guys, and welcome back to 23rd Garage. So today we have a piece of junk on the rack. Since we can't get the M3 painted and we don't really have parts for the other frame jobs that we have going on, we decided we were going to help Dad out with a job that he had got probably, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks.
What you said this car junk?
Yeah, this car is junk.
What? That's 150.
I mean, yeah, but it's not a Raptor. Look at this. Is that factory?
That's not factory, yeah. Like,
look at this damage right here.
New York.
You think it's from New York?
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, it's really not a piece of junk. I was just saying that because of the rust. But if you look at the truck is actually pretty nice spec. The 4-door, you know, for more stuff. Anyway, so we need to pull this out and replace this front core support. We have a donor core support right here, and it just basically welds on with a couple of spot welds on each side and sits on the bushings there. I think we need to go ahead and try to pull this out right here. This will be getting replaced, but that's not necessarily what we were trying to pull. What we were trying to pull is this upper apron here. As you can see, it's folded in on itself here, and we have to straighten that out before we do any kind of cutting. Because we want to use the old damaged parts to pull. So what I was thinking, I've been mulling over in my head a lot on how I was going to do this, because I really want everything to come out at once. So I'm going to use this piece of diamond plate that's left over from my F150 build, and I am going to stick it up into here just like that, and probably tack weld it and put a clamp on it. And then when this pulls, it will definitely pull this, but it will also take this with it. So this will come out as well. So let's see how that works. All right, so now that we've got the brunt of it pulled out, as you can see, we've got this pretty flat. I can't really straighten it out much more because I don't really have good access with this core support on it. But we do know that this is, you know, it's pretty much pulled out. It's already starting to tear. We can't really go forward with it anymore. So we will go ahead and remove the core support and then, you know, finish it up, straighten it up and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's ready to come off. All right, so we tried to go ahead and mix the paint to trim out the radiator support, and we found out that we're out of most of the toners to make that paint. So Dad is at CarQuest, he is getting some paint, and while we wait, we are going to do a little bit of sanding on the M3. Oh, there he is. He might have the paint. Maybe we ain't gonna do no sanding on the M3. But I did want to ask you guys, what kind of cold air intake do you guys think I should get? There's a lot of them out there. I've been looking at a lot, and I'd like to get your feedback on that. And also, as far as the exhaust goes, I want to put an exhaust on it as well, because right now it's just straight pipe, resonated, non-resonated straight pipe. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. And
What do you think, Yuri?
I think it's good. Whoa, boss, you don't see the M3 here. You're gonna drop it. Put a dent on it.
What do you want now? Pintura?
Yeah, pintura. We need to paint it. We need to get it done. Gotta get it out of here. He's sick of looking at it. All right, so we got the parts painted and they are drying in the booth. We've got the heater on in there, and hopefully maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, they'll be ready to go. So while we wait on that, we're going to go ahead and sand this thing down, get it ready. Paul will be here on Wednesday, and hopefully Thursday we can get this thing painted. So let's get this thing sanded down. All right, so we got our parts out of the booth, and check that out, guys. It looks absolutely amazing. I'm very happy with how the finish turned out on the core support. Now we are ready to actually go ahead and put it on, but before we do that, we want to go ahead and grind the areas that we need to weld and hit them with a little bit of weld through primer. So I'm gonna do that real quick. All right, so our weld through primer has dried up and we're ready to install the core support. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. All right, we're in on this side.
Yeah, that was funny, mate.
All right, so we got the core support bolted onto the frame rails, and now what we need to do is go ahead and install the hood and the fender and the grill and the front bumper before we do any kind of welding. All right, so we've got everything lined up. We've got the hood centered out on the center of the core support. We've got the frame rails leveled out. And what's left now is to simply straighten out this bumper bracket here. Should be a very simple pull, just needs to come forward. We've already checked the height on the frame rails and everything checks out, everything is good. We just need to straighten this out and then get to welding. All right, so we got this bracket straightened out, and unfortunately I may have caused a little bit of collateral damage right here, but that's okay because we still have to spray the weld, so we'll touch that up. This is like the part of the job that I always dread. Like, I don't know why, I always like put it off till the last minute. Maybe it's because once you weld something on, you really can't take it off. You can by grinding your spot welds, but usually your spot welds are a lot bigger than regular welds, and not to mention the fact that anything that you weld, the weld is a lot harder than the material around it. So, you know, welding is like the last step. Like when you're 150% sure, that's when you weld. All right, so now we need to get my clamps, clamp everything together, put this line the holes up, and weld it up.
Okay.
All right, so we got our core support mounted on with some sheet metal screws and some vise grips, and now we want to check the square. Make sure that it's good. That looks pretty good. Now we'll check to the support. Looks good. Our hood is centered out on the core support. So I'm going to go ahead and weld this thing up, and then we'll finish off the welds, spray a little paint on there, get it all put back together, get it ready for paint and body. Guys, check that out. Looks just like it did from the factory. Everything's bolted down real good, real solid. The grill's on, the header panel's on. Everything's welded in. You can't really see too much of it. Everything will be covered up anyways, you know, with a good layer of dust or dirt or grime. Let's do a quick walk around here. I want to start with this side. The gaps right here, as you guys can see, is pretty good. Right here, we actually have to drill out the bolts that broke, but Dad said he's going to take care of that since he did break them. But check it out. Look how good everything's lined up. It looks like it did from the factory almost. What do you think, Nate?
I think so.
All the gaps are lined up here, the door gaps, everything looks good. Since now we've got the F-150 done, we are going to go ahead and pull in the Silverado. So stay tuned for the next video. This thing's gonna be done.